Do you know what worries me more than getting older? Becoming incapable. Not being able to walk properly. Not being able to get up easily. Not being able to carry things. Or needing help for the basic stuff that I used to be able to do without even thinking about it. Because once your mobility starts going, life can shrink very, very quickly indeed. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're having a great day so far, and I hope it continues. Now, the first thing is a bit of a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a fitness coach, and I'm certainly not pretending to be some sort of expert. But at 65, there are a few things that I genuinely believe have helped me to stay active, mobile, and capable. Not perfect, not superhuman, just capable. And honestly, I think that matters more. So in this video, I thought I'd share 5 things that I personally do that help keep me moving forward physically and mentally at 65. Now, I'm Dave, and this is the Over 65 Reset. Okay, so the first thing that I do is that I prioritise protein. And before anybody switches off, thinking this is going to be some bodybuilding channel, trust me, relax, it isn't. I'm not weighing chicken breasts on digital scales. I'm not walking around with 6 Tupperware tubs in the boot of the car, and I'm definitely not training for some bodybuilding competition. But as you get older, the fact is muscle matters. And one thing that happens as we age is that we naturally lose muscle mass if we don't do something about it. It's just a fact of life, it's biology. The loss of muscle doesn't just affect how you look, it affects strength, balance, recovery, mobility, energy, all of those things. And a lot of older people honestly don't eat enough protein. Ask any health expert, they'll tell you that. That's not just me. What do we eat? We eat toast, tea, biscuits, maybe a sandwich. And then they wonder why they feel weak and tired all the time. Now, let me get this straight. I'm not obsessive with it, but I do make a conscious effort to get decent protein into my diet every day because I want to maintain that muscle for as long as possible. Not to look 25 again and past all that nonsense, trust me. I just want to stay physically capable. I want to be able to walk these hills with the dogs, carry my camera gear, train properly, move properly. That's the goal now. The second thing I do is I lift weights. Now, this is where people sometimes get the wrong idea. At 65, I'm not trying to impress 20-year-olds in the gym. Honestly, half the time they're sitting on a machine scrolling through social media anyway. But I do train hard, but I train sensibly. I lift heavy for me, and that's the important bit. I still believe in progressive overload. I still try to maintain strength and I still try to improve where I can. But I don't ego lift. Because at my age, getting injured trying to prove something would be unbelievably stupid. And here's the thing. Strength matters more as you age, not less. People think lifting weights is all about vanity. For me, it's about independence. Being able to get out of a chair properly, carry shopping, as I've said before, climb stairs, stay balanced while I'm walking, and stay physically useful. Muscle for me is independence. And once you start losing too much strength, everyday life becomes harder than it actually needs to be. And that's one of the reasons that I still go to the gym consistently 3 times a week. Not because I'm chasing perfection, because I'm trying to hold the line physically for as long as I reasonably can. The third thing I do is I walk every single day. Usually somewhere between 6 and 10 kilometers with the dogs. And honestly, I think walking is one of the most underrated things that you can do as you get older. because people think it's not flashy and it gets dismissed. But walking, well, that keeps you mobile, keeps your joints moving, keeps your cardiovascular system working, keeps your head clear. And mentally, I think it's massive. Some of my best thinking happens walking through these woods early in the mornings. No noise, no chaos, no notifications, just moving. And I think modern life has made people far too stationary. Sit in the car, sit at a desk, sit on a sofa, scroll on the phone. And then suddenly one day they realise they feel stiff all the time. Well, no wonder. The body was built to move. And honestly, I believe a lot of people overcomplicate fitness when sometimes the answer is simply walk more. Consistently. Not once a week, every day, rain or shine. Okay, number 4. I keep a purposeful routine. Now this one's becoming even more important for me because, as many of you know, I retire in the not too distant future. Now I've thought about this a lot recently. One thing that work gives people, whether they like to admit it or not, is structure. You get up at a certain time, you go somewhere, you follow a routine, and you move through the day with some kind of purpose. Then retirement comes along and suddenly all of that disappears overnight. And honestly, I think that's where some people start slowing down. Not because they're old, because they lose the structure. So even after retirement, I still intend to keep a routine. Morning walks, go to the gym, I've got my YouTube channel to keep looking after, my dog photography, getting outside and just generally keeping active. Because I know myself, if I sit around waiting to feel motivated every morning, I'll end up doing absolutely nothing. And I think routine matters far more than we give credit for as we get older. The body likes movement, the mind likes purpose. And without those two things, it becomes very easy to drift into inactivity. And inactivity quickly becomes a habit. And the 5th thing, well, I keep moving even when I can't really be bothered. Because believe me, not every day feels motivational. Some mornings I'm tired. Some days I'm fed up. Some days the weather's rubbish. Some days I'd quite happily stay sat in a chair. But I've learned something over the years. If you negotiate with yourself too much, you usually lose. So most of the time, I just get up and go anyway. And usually, once I'm moving, I'm fine. I think sometimes people imagine that active people are constantly motivated, and they definitely aren't. They're just consistent, and that's different. And I honestly think consistency becomes more important with age, because once sitting still becomes your default setting, well, getting moving again becomes much harder. Momentum matters, physically and mentally. And the truth is, I don't really want to spend the next 20 years watching life from a chair if I can help it. I still want to walk, explore, train, photograph dogs and make videos. Just do things. That's the goal. Not perfection, participation. So those are probably the 5 biggest things that help me stay active and mobile at 65. Protein, weights, walking, routine, and continue to move even on the days I don't really feel like it. It's nothing revolutionary, just consistency over time. And honestly, I think too many people are searching for some magic solution when most of this really comes down to keeping yourself physically and mentally engaged with life. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think. What's one thing that you do that helps keep you active as you get older? And I'd genuinely be interested to hear. So take care, and whatever you do next, don't slow down. Come on, girls.